Welcome into KIV and KRACK, week 5 of the NFL, week 6 of college football. I'm going to just say it right off the rip, KRACK, because I kind of always thought you were more of an NFL bettor, but right now you are crushing college football. Since college football season started, 29-19, hitting over 60% there at Wager Talk. Love to see it. What if people are looking for college football plays from you? What are they going to get? Are they getting props? Are they getting sides? Are they getting
and
totals?
and to be blunt, listen, I love NFL props. I love betting them. I mean, people wanted sides, so I give out some sides, and I know I'm with a real sharp guy, with that gives me sides because I don't handicap sides, but college football is just unbelievable every year for me. College basketball, college football, they're my wheelhouse things. Props are too, and NFL, like just randomness of such an efficient market. It's so tough to win. But then when you get these bad beats, and I don't really talk about bad beats normally. Last week, the Rams obviously was a terrible beat versus the Eagles. And then the same Rams team has to beat me this week. I have the Colts plus 3.5. Like,
Me
oh, God.
too.
Yeah. There's some bad beats. And I was on a show earlier with Andy, and Andy was saying, well, the guy really, going in the end zone really wasn't showboating or anything. He was
I didn't say it was showboating, but hang on to the football, my guy.
how you put the ball up with one hand, like you looks like you're showboating to me, like bragging to the cat. Get the touchdown first, then do all showboating you want. I mean,
Todd Furman tweeted, KRACK. He goes, footballs must weigh 5,000 pounds because these guys can't wait to get rid of it before they even hit the end zone. It's like, just wait 4 more steps, and then I don't care what you do with the football.
yeah, it's funny you say that too. I follow Todd, but I don't read Twitter a lot. So someone sent me something on Todd Furman. This is where we are at with sportsbook branded coverage. Okay, so all right, yeah. So this guy
Oh
on
boy.
their
I
on
listen,
this
I
channel.
can't
Oh, you
comment
seen
on
it?
this stuff. I
Oh,
can't because
sorry.
listen, here's the thing. I've
We're
been in
not
this
allowed.
media space
We
for
can
a
cut
long
this
time,
out.
KRACK. And
Yeah.
I don't want to discredit or disparage anybody, right?
Oh, I
I
don't
try
do
to just
that.
keep my mouth shut, but this is egregious. You cannot be giving out this type of advice to people. Let everybody know what is going on in that tweet.
Yeah, well, I don't know who the person is. I wasn't planning to throw him under the bus, although I would, because listening to someone like this, it's really going to hurt you. But I wasn't. I don't ever mention names or go after individuals. It's a rare thing. There wouldn't be enough time in the day actually to do it anyway. So, but this situation, the guys on their network, the DraftKings network, talking to two other good-looking people. They're all good-looking people, beautiful suits and beautiful eyes and bodies, and they're giving out. Oh, this is what I would bet. So he's telling someone to buy a college football game from 3.5 to 2.5, and lay like $1.58. Furman said, yeah, $1.58, and you could bet the money line. I looked at the money line. Some places it was minus 168, 170. Like, you're telling someone to buy it, laying 2.5 minus 158. First of all, there's so many bad things in motion here. One, you never buy in college football. That's right. Never buy in college football. Two, you don't. You have to look at the money line. If you're going to look at even if the line is minus 2.5, minus 50, at a certain shop because maybe they don't want them off 2.5. You can look at the money line, and it's worth more to lay 20 extra cents to buy 4.5 points, not to pick them, or even 3, whatever, 3.5 points. It's really dumb, the things I see. And third of all, he said he's betting it. I'll wager a lot of money that he's not putting a bet on that minus the 2.5, minus 58. So go tell someone else this stuff. I just can't take these people, and I never. You notice I don't go after people. Very rare I go after people on social media. I only do it to help the public too, to let them know how stupid these people are. Well, I'm using the street words. I can't help it. Egregious. How egregious these things are. Yeah, I just, it's such bad advice. It's hurting so many people. But I just told Andy, we're so close to the sun. People like us, me, you, Andy, but we're too close to the sun because we think we represent a big portion of players. No. People that are smart enough to watch these podcasts from the Wager Talk Network, they are people that are looking for more, looking for edge, responsible gambling, so and so. And these people that are on these shows that are nationwide shows, these kids that came into the marketplace these last 5, 6, 7 years, they're there because of the Shaqs and LeBrons and different athletes.
I'm going to
That's why
stop you. They're there because they got a broadcast degree from Penn State or Syracuse or one of those big media schools and realized, hey, 2018 legalized gambling has now put things on the forefront. So now these major networks, NBC, ESPN, so forth, want to integrate gambling into their content. The problem is they didn't hire gamblers. And so when you're over there on Fox, right?
Yes,
like we got
lucky.
the guys I used to work for on Barstool, they're on Fox. But the thing is you on Fox are branded as a professional gambler. The guys on Barstool, it's, for lack of better words, they're having a good time. They're making it entertaining. No one is going to blindly follow Big Cat's plays. He says it all the time, how ice cold he is, right? So you get that idea of, is it entertainment or is it wagering?
You're right. I like that. I like you said that.
And it's true. There's a hybrid, right? Nick Costos over there, I think he's with BetMGM Network, and he says he calls it wagertainment. I think that there is a hybrid version that we do have, but the upsetting part is you've got to be able to differentiate. And when you slap a sportsbook name on it and it becomes a sportsbook branded show, people are tuning in because they think that they are getting good information. And telling someone to buy a whole point from 3.5 to 2.5 on a team like Penn State when the money line's minus 170 is the most egregious, unprofessional, irresponsible thing to do. I didn't say anything on social media. I just closed my eyes and shut my mouth because you never make somebody else look good, make yourself look good, making somebody else look bad. But you're right. It is very irresponsible.
Yeah. And when I was talking about, I'm glad you brought up all what you just did. That's perfect. That covers the other end. What I was talking about, these kids that watch, the LeBron and Shaq and different, they go to the ballpark and see all the advertisements and they're, enamored and mesmerized and they love, oh my God, if LeBron's on there, I got to join that site. And that's what I was talking about. These kids, they don't respect the number. They don't know about anything. They don't know about shows like these. They don't know about what half points are worth. They don't know the key numbers now and how the key numbers like in the NFL aren't even worth what they were worth 5 years ago or 10 years ago when they moved the half a point, the extra point. They moved that yardage. The analytics became in the game. They're going for twos and different. There's a lot more moving parts now where the 3 and the 7 is not worth what it once was. So for them to give out buying points now on college football, and it's just so bad. It's so bad. It bothered me so much. Usually I don't get bothered by that. Someone sent it to me. And I'm about to retweet. I said I did. I just realized that the retweet didn't go through. I am going to retweet that with some comments, not going after anybody because it's not his fault.
Here's my guess. My guess is that he, the guy who was on the show, or they, the host of the show, are probably simply reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah, they are. And, if they're not responsible for their own words, that's on them. Because one thing about me.
But I think the reality is let's just say that their producers are maybe in their same age group. They're gambling too. They're enthusiastic. They don't know that this is bad advice. Hand up. I was one of these kids. Absolutely was one of these kids.
Good point.
15, 20 years ago. I remember, Crack. I will never forget. I pushed on Green Bay -5. I bought from 5.5 to 5. Can't believe I ever did that. And I was so happy to have pushed that Green Bay game. I cannot remember who they played. And Chris Andrews jumped in the middle of my ass. If you guys don't know who Chris is, he is the sportsbook director over at South Point. And, years later, he apologized. And I said, Chris, no, you are absolutely right to say, Kelly, yeah, that's great. You pushed on that game. You had a push instead of a loss. But here's why you don't want to buy points, especially off not a key number in the long term in the NFL. The reality is, like you said, whether it's analytics, whether it's been rules changed, all of these things come into play. Certain key numbers are now shifting, telling these kids to pay 20, 30, 40 cents. Same thing with teasers. I still play teasers. I got -110 teasers with a local guy. Reality is not everybody has access to that. If you're laying 140 at some of these other books, you are making a bad bet. And I think that it is our responsibility to pay that forward because Chris Andrews taught me, 15 years ago, Kelly, don't do that. This is bad. Amazing. This is bad math.
It's amazing how good is Chris though. He's a bookmaker. He wants you guys to buy on the 5, and he's actually telling people don't buy on the 5. It's a sucker bet. That's how good that South Point Sportsbook is over there. It's very interesting he told you that.
But it's
Wow.
so true. Oh, I remember like being like, wow, this guy's kind of a dick. But
Yeah.
that is the joke. You know, younger me was like, hey, I know what I'm doing. It wasn't until I started giving out plays 2009, 2010 on Twitter. It wasn't until I hit that 3-team underdog parlay. I went and saw Todd, I went and saw Kenny White and all of the Brian Blessing, all those guys over there at Don Best, and they offered me to come work for them. That the math and analytics really came into play for me, where they were like, here's what the spreadsheet is. Here's what I make the game. Here's how, Kelly, you can actually use advanced metrics to make better wagers. Great. You hit this underdog parlay. This is awesome. Now, how are you going to parlay this into a career? And having those mentors and those people being able to do it is huge. Crack. That's what this younger generation needs. I mean, my nail lady hit a $5,000 parlay for $4,000 yesterday and is like going nuts. And I'm thinking, all I could look at was Christian McCaffrey over rushing yards. Very, very original, but I was happy for her. That's probably one of the bigger scores she's going to have of her life.
She'll be chasing it forever, though. She'll be chasing that. It's like a heroin person that tries heroin for the first time and they get mesmerized. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. Now they're chasing that first high forever. That's the bad thing, but that's what happened. Listen, I'm not saying we were born sharp. I understand what you just said. I was a stone cold sucker. I until someone took me and shook me and showed me the right way. I was making money betting things that were advantage bets and going to the racetrack and blowing it when I was 17, 18. I was a stone cold sucker too. It took someone to show me what it is to make money long term. And you talked about the teaser pricing. So teaser, people that give out, you notice I haven't given out a single teaser. I believe I haven't given out a teaser at Wager Talk so far. The only reason, now there's some great teasers out there, but the only reason why I haven't is because I try to give out an obtainable line. So an obtainable line for everybody, they play at the DraftKings and the FanDuels of the world and different, and I'm not picking on those two sports books. All of the sports books now. In Vegas here, we can't lay under $1.30 on a 6-point teaser. Honestly, the books should just use a mask and a gun and take the money from us because you're not beating $1.35 teasers, 6-point teasers.
Well,
but local guys do still have $1.10, like you said.
John Murray said this to me the other day on Kelly and Murray. He said, Kelly, he goes, that's a testament to Mr. Wong, right? That's how good his system was to say, hey, the books are going to keep moving it. I remember when I first moved to Vegas, they were minus 110, 115, then all of a sudden 120. I mean, this has been a slow progression. Finally, they put their hands up and said, enough. We are tired of getting beat on these teaser plays. Remember the teaser cards or the pleaser cards? Like there were so many different options there back in the day, way before the phone apps, where I knew guys that's all they played on NFL Sundays.
Yeah, and just not to down Stanford Wong. That's not his real name, by the way. Not to down him, but there was really sharp guys betting those teasers way before Stanford Wong knew what 11 to 10 was. So he may have wrote a book and talked about it, but trust me, and they call it the Wong teasers, but the sharp groups were betting them way before him. And that just means, guys, betting teasers through the key numbers of 7 and 3, taking a 7.5 or 8.5 favorite and bringing it down through the 7, through the 3, under the 3. And again, that's not even worth what it once was. Nothing to do with the juice because of the analytics of the game, too. 8's a real number now in the NFL. So there's a lot of moving parts why teasers are much harder to beat. And the number one, though, is the juice, charging so much juice. But there are local guys. If local guys can still make money charging $1.10 and even $1.20, why can't these major corporations that have made money for years on these teasers make that money? And why can't they offer it? Because it's real simple. The public doesn't demand that they offer it. The public just fires no matter what. They don't respect the line. Nailed it. They don't respect the number. They just want to play and have action.
I asked John Murray on Wednesday night, I said, how come you guys just don't make this Chargers line 7? Like, they're going to bet it anyway. And he goes, we don't have to. Sure enough, they never had to move it to 7. The whole world bet the Chargers. Giants win the game outright. So whether you tease the Chargers, you bet them on the money line, they know that you are going to walk up and you are going to hand over your money willingly by betting bad numbers, by laying wrong prices, and you nailed it. There is no public outrage to say, nope, I'm not betting. We're done betting teasers at this establishment until you guys lower your pricing.
No, listen, we have conditioned a whole new genre and society of sports bettors to just betting And I'll tell you what, we are creating so many problems for this is my responsible gambling segment for the future, not just among these degens and these kids and college kids, lawyers, doctors, business people, Wall Street people. There is more out of control gambling going on in all these different jurisdictions with 1-800 numbers for responsible gambling. They can't handle the all the phone calls coming in. And do you know how many people are still closet gambling? And how about the jurisdictions that have the online live casinos now, where the housewives putting the kids to bed and they're under the covers firing on slot machines, and the husbands in the other room, by the way, doing the same thing, playing online blackjack and Keno and everything else. And, we're leading people down a path that's really bad. At least you got a place like New Jersey. They're really tough on responsible gambling. They're really tough on asking questions to somebody when they're depositing. I know that some of the jurisdictions are like that, but yet others aren't. How can you control someone coming to Vegas, putting cash in an app? You can't. You don't know what's going on with them personally. New Jersey does take a little bit more of a responsible gambling view, and I like that. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No. I just had a funny story. I met a politician, a female politician the other night at dinner. Her husband was like, hey, I know you're the gambling girl. I was sitting at the bar with a girlfriend who happened to know the politician wife. And I said, that's funny. And he goes, I want to show you my bet. And I said, okay. And he goes, but you can't make fun of me about my betting price, how much I bet per game. I said, of course not. I don't unit shame. So what didn't matter that he only had $5 on the bet?
Yeah.
It mattered, Crack, that he bought it from 7.5 to 6.5. And I looked at him and I said, what were you thinking? And he goes, you said you weren't going to shame my bet. I said, I don't care that you bet $5 a game. You don't buy from 7.5 to 6.5 in a divisional game. Come on, what are we doing here? This is just ridiculous. I think he laid minus 140 for that point, by the way.
Yeah, it's the $1.40. Years ago, maybe depending on how low the total is too. Sometimes you can I have the buying. There's still some buying opportunities, but it's going to be with a local guy. It's not going to be with one of the sites that charge you so much. So it really is. Kel, I'm going to give the viewers, if we get this out there, so we can give them under Dobbins tonight. Let me make sure it's still the same line, because I actually bet it.
Let's talk that Monday Night Football game real quick, Crack, while you're pulling that up. I am going to wuss out. I'm going to Stanford Wong it, or whoever created the Wong teaser. I'm taking the Jets plus 2.5 over that touchdown. I'm taking the Broncos down under that field goal. And then I'm just going to sit back and hopefully relax. These teasers have been really good so far this year to me, Crack. Betting them early, betting them late, it almost has not mattered. So that is what I'm doing tonight, Monday Night Football. Every Monday you come on in here, you give us a prop bet. And while you're finding that, I do want to remind everybody, this weekend you get every football play from Crack. Saturday, Sunday, 5%, anything you guys want from him, only $49. That is our Weekend Warrior package over at wagertalk.com. And of course, as a bonus, you're going to include anything that Crack plays on Monday Night Football as well. That is $49 right now. No coupon code needed. The Weekend Warrior package over at wagertalk.com. All right, Dobbins, talk to me about the Broncos.
So I'm looking, BetMGM still has Dobbins under 64.5. That's fine. Under his rushing yard, 64.5 minus $1.15. So Dobbins tonight, I think the running backs are going to get a little more involved on the game tonight. So there's a free prop for people. But going on to that package, I always still just laugh because I've never sold plays like that for that price. But $49, that's a great weekend just to get in. You're going to get all my college stuff. You're going to get the props and everything. And then after that, obviously, join a monthly package or something. But this is a great Weekend Warrior special you guys have going for the customers and the clients. So jump in on that, guys. We really appreciate that. Appreciate you. Cal, if you didn't mention that stuff, I'm terrible at self-promotion. So thank you for doing that for me.
Don't you worry, Crack. I got you taken care of. Again, Crack's been absolutely red hot in college football. So maybe jump on board for this weekend and get him for Saturday, Sunday, and of course, Monday. Crack, real quickly before I let you go. Last weekend, you texted me, hey, I took Buffalo and the Grandissimo, Texans as well, and some of your other survivors. I went half Lions, half Texans. by all means, they were all pretty easy wins.
Yes.
Yes, the Texans kind of had that slow start, but ultimately pulled away in the fourth quarter. Same thing with the Bills, kind of that wonky start that kind of shot themselves in the foot with penalties early. Spencer Rattler looked a little bit better, but ultimately the Bills are just that much better of a team. Still won the game by double digits. This week is a little spicy. We've got some interesting plays here.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think the whole world's going to be on Arizona. This is the spot to use them this week. They are a 9-point favorite. We got Minnesota staying in Europe. They are in London. They are a touchdown favorite. The Colts, I have now since put on my list since we lost last weekend. Maybe this is a spot to use the Colts. And of course, how can we forget those Baltimore Ravens? Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can stomach it. We'll see if Lamar ends up being healthy or not. I have a feeling he's going to be a go. There was a lot of rumors on social media whether he quit on his team or whether he was really banged up or not. But I'd like to think this is a spot. Baltimore back home, they can get a win over that Texans team again. Maybe that final score is a little misleading. Kind of talk to me about your guys' process. You guys haven't been eliminated yet in any of your survivors, correct?
No, for the most part, I don't think anyone has really been eliminated this weekend too. Yeah, this it's going to get tougher. Obviously, it's going to get tougher, but this weekend's going to get tougher because this coming weekend, I don't even know if I trust Arizona, but yeah, I'm probably going to lean to Arizona. So it just doesn't sound right. Minnesota, I'm not trusting, even though I was real high on them at the beginning of the season. But it's going to get tougher and tougher as the weeks go here. It's not like last year where by this week, 95% of the survivor pool down at Circle was knocked out. So, but Grant, my big play went through again, and most of I think everyone's big. I really didn't look at the rest. I think
there was I think a little over 1,300 between the Packers and the Chargers. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's
there at
survivor.
Circa.
Yep.
Just a few people knocked out. I think it was 6 over in the Westgate 5K, and I think there was 2 in Grandissimo. I'd have to double check that as well.
Okay.
But I do find it interesting because I said this on Wager Talk today on Friday, Crack. So I wanted your kind of opinion on it. I think because of what we've seen in years past, right? Minus the 2023 season, these early bloodbaths, these early losses that mainly were the Bengals.
Yep.
I think kind of makes people think, oh, I should zig and not zag, right? Like nobody wanted to be in that top 1 or 2 plays, but those have been so easy, for lack of better words, just rocking chair winners minus the Broncos week 1. Do you think that people are trying to zig when maybe they should just right the ship and then find a better week to say, hey, this team may be upset?
I was yesterday after my Fox show, I went down to Circa to film. They have a reality show on Survivor. So I never looked at a score, ran right out of the place and went over there. And I didn't even realize I'm filming and the Saints are going in to go ahead of the Bills and they got an interception or a fumble or something. I never even realized how close I came to even losing the momentum could have swung totally there if the Saints would have scored there. But, I got to tell you, Kel, I'm going to give a little secret sauce here. So I follow this podcast. I think I told you about this and how they won the Survivor. One of the hosts, he's part of a team that won by never taking a team 4 points or less. Home team favorite. Probably tough to do throughout the whole year, but I am going to stick to home teams. Boy, I tell you, for as long as I can. And I'm not going to pick under a 4-point favorite unless I absolutely have to. In the Survivor, you have 20 weeks. You have to pick. You have to go Thanksgiving week, and you don't even think about Christmas week. But you have to save someone for those 2 weeks with the shortened schedules. That's the little kink in the contest. But my strategy is probably going to be to pick home teams, and home teams are 4 points or more. I'm not even looking at road teams.
No, and I don't think you should be looking at road teams. And I've been screaming that from the mountaintops, particularly road teams in the division. The Falcons were that team that everybody used last week. I didn't understand. Now, granted, Packers, Dallas isn't a divisional game, but still that's one of those primetime games. So like there are certain spots where you're absolutely right. I want nothing to do with the road team, primetime and in the division. And you're right. I'm looking for those teams at home, maybe off a loss, heading into their bye week, coming out of their bye week. Now, obviously there's different angles at play there, but that's what I kind of thought about the Ravens this week. I'm like, surely this is the week. But then you look at their injury report here on Monday and I'm going, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's scary. And, who would think that Kansas City and Baltimore would be playing, and one of the losers are going to be 1-3. So it's amazing. This NFL, any given Sunday, anything can and will happen. I've been saying it forever. That's why the Survivor is so fun, and these contests are so fun. But
absolutely. This has been another edition of Kelly and Crack, wt.buzz/Krackman. If you are looking to partner up with Crack for this weekend, for a month, or for the rest of the football season, he is the best. Make sure you guys are giving him a follow over on social media as well. Crack, thank you for always taking the time. Guys, if you get a chance, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode.
Appreciate you guys watching, following, liking, subscribing. Thanks, Kelly. I'll see you guys all next week.